Let's go. Man, folks in the chat, please, who voted early? Yes, you voted early. No, you didn't. I'm watching chat. Speak the Truth McGroin says execute 10, 10, and 10, and more. Pile it on Kylo Ren style. More. Bring it. Listen, the argument about early voting is over, okay? I'm not more. Keep it coming. I can't convince you anymore. If you say I am resolutely doing it on election day, I love you. You are a patriot. I don't want to pretend to even understand your reasons. Good. If you are, please, no matter what, all I'm asking you now is to make a plan tomorrow. Get a babysitter. DoorDash dinner. I don't care. But tomorrow, no matter what happens, if there's a nuclear war, go Denzel Washington, Book of Eli, and you get to that poll no matter what. You go Viggo Mortensen the road, and you get to that poll no matter what. You will make it to the polls no matter what. What? You're not? I'm not asking. You will go to the polls no matter what, and we will win, and it will be the greatest day of our lives. If we don't, we will lose, and we will show up the next day, and we will be like, what in the hell happened? Let me just say, as the campaign is coming to an end, this is the 2-minute drill. That person was correct. It's not the fourth quarter. This is the 2-minute drill. This is it. The campaign is coming to a close. Tomorrow night, everything's going to be done by midnight or so. The votes, there'll be no more votes coming in outside of some of these mail-ins in these crazy liberal states. It's going to be all over. We do not want to leave a single vote on the table and an ounce of regret. But I'm starting to understand the Trump team, and they're being very savvy here. Do you guys see what they're doing? You see their strategy? Do you notice they're spending an awful lot of time on the East Coast? Well, of course, Dan, there's a bunch of swing states there, North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Yeah, no, I get that. And they have been hitting, obviously, Wisconsin does, but a lot of time in Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, even though they look good there. You see their strategy? It's pretty genius. I think they are so terrified of the tyrannical commie Democrats trying to steal this thing with another like late night ballot drop in a Western swing state like in Arizona or something like that could prolong this thing for days and weeks, that they want to make this thing a fait accompli on the East Coast by 9 p.m. You guys in the chat agree. This is freaking genius. Jim, you know what I'm talking about? Producer Jim's in studio. Yeah, say hello to the fellow. Jim, you guys ever see Producer Jim's never actually been on camera in the Bongino studio. You probably met him. We got his book over there too, the Bongino Show Survival Guide.
Pick up a copy of my book.
Yeah, come on in. The Bongino Show Survival. Say hello, Producer Jim.
Hello.
There we go. The Dan Bongino Show Survival Guide. There we go. In studio. You agree with me though? This is a brilliant plan. Make this thing such a freaking landslide on the East Coast that it's impossible. The math doesn't work. It's kind of a brilliant strategy. Now, you get out and execute, we will win. Let's go through some weekend updates so you have a good idea of where we are. We're not doing any red wave talk. We haven't yet. But I'm telling you now, the math, you're sitting there right now and you got a gun to your head saying you got to make a pick right now. You want to be Trump. You don't want to be Kamala Harris. Here's a Eric Daughtry tweet. We'll be using his analysis on election night, too. Hoping he can join us a little later. New Atlas Intel swing states poll. Why am I including Atlas Intel? Because Atlas Intel, by most metrics, was the most accurate polling out in the last one. Does it mean they'll be most accurate this time? No. I've already told you polls are pretty much garbage, but pretty much. This crew, Atlas Intel, was pretty accurate. Here are the final polls we see in swing states. They've got Trump up in Nevada, Trump up in Michigan, Trump up in Pennsylvania, Trump up in Wisconsin, Trump up in North Carolina, Trump up in Georgia, Trump up big in Arizona. Folks, I'm just telling you, if you show up and execute and you combine this with the early voting tallies we've already seen, mathematically speaking, we will win. But we have to execute, which means more. More. Just when you think it's enough, what comes next? More. But we've had enough. No more. But have we had more? You need more. But we've had more. You need moreist. But we're at moreist. You need moreisty, moreist more. I don't care what word you have to make up. More. Oh, I voted. Bring 2 people. I brought 2 people. Bring 5 more. Dan, you're wearing me out. I don't give a shit. Bring 10 more. But I brought 10. Bring 20. I've already been. I don't care. More. 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 It's all that matters. It's more. I'm going to tell you why. Did we destroy the chat? Am I crazy? Oh, no. There we go. My gosh, I saw like a blank screen. Man, this thing is moving so quick right now. More. Bring it. Let me tell you why, though, more matters. Even if you're making a big mistake right now and saying, oh, this thing is over, which you shouldn't. Folks, a mandate matters. Follow my X and True Social account. I put some really important tweets out and posts this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, if we win in a rout, and I mean a rout where this thing is by 10:30, this thing is wrapping up, and they cannot believe the turnout, it will be I don't want to do it. Folks, I don't want to do a language alert. Turn this down if this kid's in, if you're watching live. Okay, maybe I'm going to try to control it from this, but this is super important though. It'll be the biggest F-U ever in the history of political news to the mainstream media. The fact that they told America, oh, you're all fascist, commie, racist. And in a mandate, if we can win the popular vote too, a majority of people said, we don't believe you assholes anymore. It will be the greatest F-U ever. Here's why I think this could be possible and why I don't trust the polls. Here's Daughtry again talking about the New York Times. Their own pollster, Nate Cohn, announces that white Republicans were not answering their polls nearly as much as Democrats and says that the polling miss could be similar to 2020, where Donald Trump ran 5 points ahead of the polls. Folks, I'm not sure I put a lot of stock in polls. I just want to be clear, good or bad. I'm just saying this is the New York Times' own guy saying we may be missing as bad as we did in 2020. If that's the case, and those Atlas Intel polls are even remotely accurate, then we have a chance for a mandate for the first time in a long time, and we could win 52, 53 Senate seats. It's only if you execute. I do want to address the Iowa Seltzer poll. Came out, showed Kamala Harris ahead. Folks, I don't put a lot of stock in that poll. It appears to clearly be an outlier. I said to you in the title of the podcast today, do not fall for psyops. My guess here is this is some kind of operation being run on people, whether she knows she's part of it or not. Everybody's promoting this Iowa poll. Hey, could it be accurate? Listen, anything could be true. It's more of a reason for you to show up and vote, but I have a solution to the Seltzer poll. It basically showed Kamala Harris winning Iowa, which I see unlikely, but not impossible. Anyone telling you that's lying. Anything could happen at this point. Let's turn that around on them, and let's make it a psyop on our end. Now, if you were even thinking about not voting in Iowa because you think it's a blowout, now I want you to embarrass this Seltzer poll so bad that Trump wins Iowa by 12 and the Democrats can never pull this stunt again without being laughed at, because then we'll have the data afterwards. That's how you respond to this stuff. Here's why, folks, I think we're in good shape. Not great, but good, and that's why the only thing that matters right now is what? More. It's the only more. It's the only thing that matters. New York Post. New York Republicans vote early in record numbers, but Democrat turnout is in a, quote, total free fall. Cheers to that one. New York Republicans vote in record numbers, but Democrat turnout in a total free fall. Why? Because people are executing, and it's all about more. Here's Seth Cashel, another pretty good follow here. My thread on early voting and paranoia surrounding North Carolina. Early vote in North Carolina is R+1. Dems are down over 290,000 in early votes from 2020. Republicans are up 11K. The Republican lead in early voting is 41,445. In 2020, the total early and mail-in vote favored Democrats by 261K. That's a big difference. And a big difference there. That don't look good. That don't look good. All you got to do tomorrow is execute. Now, I heard someone say to me again this weekend, and it was a friend, yeah, early voting, I'm so glad it's done. It's not done. No, you can't vote again. We're not Democrats. However, you can bring someone else to the polls. You can text 10 people tomorrow. You can email them. You can DM them. I don't care what you got to do. You can knock on their doors. But more. You need to do more. I need to do more. Everybody needs to do more. Ladies and gentlemen, someone tweeted to me this weekend or sent a DM, I couldn't believe it, and said, Dan, you're not working this weekend? Not working this weekend. You have any idea what I did this weekend? Get people to the polls? Do you have any idea? I had to go vote too this weekend. What do you think? I'm immune from that? My vote counts too. We were out hustling all weekend. My wife and I both. Notice there's no weekend update because the only weekend update is more. That's the only weekend update that matters. David Sachs, who's been on our show before, he's a tech entrepreneur. Here are this week's PsyOps alone. This is a pretty accurate summary. Monday, a roast comics joke is going to decide the election. Really. Tuesday was apostrophe gate. Biden calling us all garbage, claiming he was talking about the comedian. Wednesday, I will protect women, referred to abortion instead of keeping killers from pouring across the border. It's Trump. Thursday, Trump wants to put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad. These are just last week's PsyOps. Friday, undecideds breaking for Kamala by double digits. I'm not sure how exactly they know that. Saturday, Kamala's winning Iowa. 3 more days to go. He says, ignore the noise and vote. Be careful of the PsyOps. Here's one last early voting trend so you feel I want you in a good place tomorrow with your heads. Manifest big things, ladies and gentlemen. Manifest big things and it'll happen. Went to church this weekend. Father Marty blew it out of the box, too. I encourage you to go to my Twitter yesterday. I put the Rumble link. He puts his homilies on Rumble, and especially listen halfway through. He went for it yesterday. And everybody got up and applauded. Here's some final numbers coming out of Nevada. Nevada GOP improved its position again. Pennsylvania GOP continues improving. Turnout trends in Georgia and Wisconsin remain steady, with Trump counties overperforming. You'd rather be Trump right now. Jim, can you send them that article you sent me, the Reuters one about Hillary Clinton? Remember 2016, the early voting? It's in your text stream with me. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to put this in the show. Whenever you guys get to it, I should have put it up early. One more thing. I want you in a good place tomorrow. We are going to manifest good, big things, man. And we are going to make it happen because more is all that matters. We are bringing more tomorrow. We're not done. We just started. I just don't want you to get cocky. In the 1 in 100 chance that Iowa poll is right, you have to consider it. Don't get cocky, because this is what Hillary Clinton's people did. They got cocky in 2016. And you know what they did on Election Day? Anybody have any idea? They did nothing. They didn't vote. And that's why she lost, because everybody got cocky. I'll send you an article in a minute if you think I'm making this up. They were like, man, this thing is over. The early voting for Hillary Clinton's incredible. She lost. The Democrats can still show up, which means if you show up and you do more, we'll win. And that's a fact. Folks, right now, it's all about the close, man. It's all about the follow through. This is the 2-minute drill. This is the last out of the 9th inning. Enter Sandman's playing. Mariano Rivera's coming in the game. Jim's here, so I'll give him a little shout out. John Franco's coming in the game, or Jesse Orosco, or whatever Mets player Jim wants. Jim's a Mets guy, whatever. Jesse Orosco's in the game. If you got to be a big baseball fan, I may be aging out right now. This is it. It's all about the clothes right now. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to be one person right now, you sure as shit don't want to be Kamala Harris. Kamala's team blew it. The opportunity to change the narrative, ladies and gentlemen, is over. And we're dealing with another Biden scandal again this weekend. It's really incredible, the party of tolerance, coexistence, peace and love. And here we go. Here's Stimson J. Cat. Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. It's really weird how the Stimson J. Cat, Ren and Stimpy party, always talking about joy, constantly are talking about beating the shit out of us, smacking us, taking us around the back of the schoolyard, kicking our asses, fascists, Nazis. You ever, the joy party? Here's Biden again, and I want you to look at the face he puts on. Is this guy taking a dump in his diapers? He said, no, I want you to watch. I think he needed a wipey after this, talking about smacking people around or whatever, smacking them in the ass or something. This is the joy party. This is not how they wanted to close. Check
I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
Wait, look at the face. Tell me this guy's not crapping himself. Jim, look at this guy's face. Is this guy not taking a dump right now or what? Somebody serious. Tell me this guy's not defecating himself. Right? Look at this. Wait, Jim, watch. Look at that. Come on. Folks, this guy needed a box of those wipies after this. There is zero doubt he was controlling his bowels after that. What he was doing, I don't really know. But this is certainly not the happy, happy joy campaign. This looks like the most miserable campaign in America. And get ready. Man, I almost forgot. I'm glad you said it. Get ready. Get ready for them to blame Joe Biden if they lose. You're already seeing it in Axios and Politico today. Quick break, and I'm going to show you something else they had to deal with. Kamala Harris's teleprompter broke. I've already showed you multiple clips of Kamala Harris, who when the prompter breaks, has no ability to speak off the cuff whatsoever. Zero. Folks, I have used a teleprompter, I think, twice, and they were at speeches where they demanded it, and I don't even think I read the speech in the prompter. The woman has no ability to speak extemporaneously at all. Zero. And she wants to be president. I'll show you what I mean coming up next, where she says, move forward 1,000 times. She's talking to the teleprompter operator. She just doesn't want you to know it. Watch what I'm talking about. This is not the close they wanted. Hey, we're in the home stretch for this year's presidential election. The stakes are high. Depending on whom you talk to, everyone has an opinion about which way this thing will go. And now you can have more skin in the game by placing a bet on who you think will win. Kalshi.com is one of the first legal places where you can bet on the election in the U.S. Visit Kalshi, KALSHI.com/Bongino. And the first 500 traders who deposit $100 will get a free $20 credit. He just put his wager in. I think we can figure out, I'll guess who he voted for. It's not just the race for president. Let me tell you something. I'm considering putting a bet in on this race. I'm considering. Tell me in a chat what you think I should do. It's information. You know what I'm saying? That's what these options kind of things. And I'm considering it. Let me know what you think I should do. It's not just the race for president. Kalshi has markets on who will control the House and Senate, who will win swing states, and more. It's not just Key having fun with this. Kalshi's already been used by hundreds of thousands of people. It's facilitated over $1 billion worth of trades. Sign up using Kalshi.com/Bongino, and the first 500 traders who deposit $100 will get a free $20 credit. That's Kalshi, KALSHI.com/Bongino. Trading on Kalshi involves risk and is your responsibility. See show notes for a link to important disclosures at Kalshi.com. Kalshi is subject to U.S. regulatory oversight by the CFTC. I'm thinking about it. I'm considering, man, we have really closed this thing out. More kids. More. She can't speak, folks. She cannot speak without a teleprompter. It is impossible for her to speak off the cuff. She cannot do it. Watch what happens when her teleprompter craps out and she says move forward 3 or 4 times. She's talking to the teleprompter operator because she doesn't know what to say, in contrast to Donald Trump, who uses a teleprompter only as a guide and talks off the cuff all the time. Watch this.
You know what? Let me say something about this. We're here because we're fighting for a democracy. Fighting for a democracy. And understand the difference here. Understand the difference here. Moving forward. Moving forward. Understand the difference here. What we are looking at is a difference in this election. Let's move forward and see where we are. Because on the issue, for example, of freedom of choice. That's
You see where she cut off? You see what? Understand the difference here? The prompter went out. Do you see her? Moving forward. Moving forward. Please, someone move this thing. I have no ability to say anything off the cuff because my neurons don't connect like normal people. She cannot speak, folks. This is not a smart person. She needs to have speeches written for her. Everything she does is fake. Every single thing is fake. It's artificial. It's all bullshit. It's all an act, man. All of it. It's a shtick. It's all about the clothes. Let's pretend the prompter went out. It's all about the clothes. It's about the clothes. And what's next in the closet? The clothes. Here's my prompter. That looks like your handwriting. That's because it is. Because I give a shit about what I'm talking about. I don't need a freaking teleprompter. What's in the prompter right now? Yes, thank you. A Washington Post headline. You need a prompter. You need a prompter exclusively if you're an idiot. They had to cancel Joe Biden because it is all about the clothes. And this is not the way to bring the relief pitcher out of the freaking game. They bring, remember when they used to have the bullpen car? Do you remember that back in the day? They used to take the golf cart and bring the pitcher in from the bullpen. Oh, I don't understand. He was too lazy to jog in. I don't know what the hell they did that for, right? Imagine crashing the bullpen car. That's what's going on right now. It's gotten so bad, the sitting president of the United States, oatmeal brains. The Kamala Harris campaign has had to cancel both him and Mark Cuban because every time they open their mouths, they say something stupid. How crazy is this? We're not canceling these idiots. We're not the cancel culture. They are. Listen to Fox's Jackie Heinrich saying, hey, they've sidelined Joe Biden, who is now locked in the closet. They've got this guy with a dunce cap. They've got handcuffs on the door to make sure he can't open it. They won't let him out there because he can't shut up. And every time he opens his mouth, he's either crapping himself or calling people garbage. Check this out.
Tonight, Fox News has learned multiple campaign calls that were publicly advised on the president's schedule for yesterday afternoon were canceled as he faces continuing fallout over his garbage comment on a Zoom earlier this week. None of the calls that had been scheduled were officially sanctioned by or affiliated with the Harris campaign, and Biden has no official campaign events on his schedule ahead of the election, Brad.
How bad does your clothes have to be? Your clothes has to be so bad when the sitting president of the United States with all the accoutrements of the White House. He's got Air Force One. He's got the imagery of the Rose Garden. All they're asking this guy to do is please shut your mouth and don't say anything. Do you have any idea how bad it has to be? By the way, what is he doing here? Did you see this over the weekend? Now, I've got a lot of experience doing this. I was a TS guy in the Secret Service. What is TS? Transportation section. I spent 2 stints there. I was the whip there and a regular agent over there. I've done a whole shit ton of motorcades. Here's Biden exiting Air Force One off the short guy steps because they're afraid to let him walk down the big guy steps. And I'm going to tell you something. Put this on VO. I have never seen this before in my life. So he's exiting down the short steps there.
Joe Biden.
And typically the car is right there.
In the Philadelphia area. He's been known, obviously, as Scranton Joe throughout his life.
And instead of going to the car,
to make a difference,
you see the agents moving a bag like, what the f is this guy doing?
But you've got this back and
he
forth
walks
between
aimlessly.
the press office
now,
at the White
I just want to say in advance,
being accused of changing the transcript of President Biden's
just keep this going a little bit. Here we go. So if you're watching on Apple or listening on Apple or Spotify, I want you to watch this again. So here's the motorcade. The agent moves the bag because he's like, well, what is he doing? Now, I'm actually inviting fact checkers here, even though you're all full of shit. If you can produce to me some kind of evidence that this was planned, is there an event over there? I'm welcome to that. I promise I'll put it on the show if it's honest and not one of your typical bullshit fact checks, okay? I'm telling you I did this for 12 years. That is verboten. Because when the president goes out and walks in an open space like that, you're vulnerable to sniper fire. So I don't want to waste a lot of time on this. I'm telling you that this typically, I'm not going to tell you what it's called, but when he does something like this and walks in open space like that, where you get hit with a sniper round, there's typically something that happens that I don't see here because it's nowhere in the camera frame. And it's meant to block something. And that's not there. What is he doing? I have no idea. Was he going over to a press pen? I told you, I'm inviting the fact checkers. If something happened we're not aware of, I'm happy to air it as long as it's not a bullshit fact check. That seems to me like Joe Biden is as lost as you think he is. I see no video evidence there that was planned. Folks, they're in a world of trouble. This is the worst close I have ever seen. Now they bring out Cardi B. Cardi B is, did she sing that song WAP? Was that her? That is. And Megan the Stallion, not the. Megan the Stallion. Okay. WAP we'll leave that out of the show. There's even some places I won't go. Let's just say if you're under the age of 18, do not look that up. So Cardi B, who did a video, didn't she do a video complaining about taxes not long ago? Amazingly, is now campaigning for the candidate who is openly pledging to raise her taxes even more than Bernie Sanders, which is kind of weird. Sounds to me like Cardi B isn't that bright. Here is Cardi B. I'm going to play some and take a break. Cardi B apparently has a teleprompter problem as well. She apparently, just like Kamala, when the teleprompter breaks, doesn't know what to do and sits up on stage in the cringiest clip you're going to see yet and doesn't know a freaking thing about what to say because none of this matters to her. And if someone didn't write it for her, she can't speak from the heart because all she is reading what someone else wrote for her. And it appears to not work. Check this out.
1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, so I don't take lightly the call. Sorry, guys, I'm a little nervous. Guys. I've been waiting for this moment this whole life, my whole life. I need patience over here. Patience, where are you, girl? I need patience over here.
Okay, that's about the cringiest thing you'll see today. There you go. That's the, and let me tell you, that's the Kamala Harris. I don't give a shit about celebrities, pro or con. I just don't. If they're on our team, great, awesome, fantastic. If they're not, they do your thing. If you're taking your advice on who to vote for from Cardi B, good luck. You're probably not on our team anyway. And by the way, that goes for either side. You do your own homework. You don't listen to any bullshit from someone who acts for a living. I saw, unbelievably for these Star Wars guys, Harrison Ford, who I grew up watching Indiana Jones and Han Solo, come out with this single dumbass thing I've heard you, please don't do this again. Dude, shut your pie hole. Mark Hamill's been crazy forever. Nobody gives a shit. Go back, get the bullwhip and the revolver, get the blaster, kill Greedo, whatever, and just shut the fuck up. Like, nobody really gives a shit what you have to say. Just do the Greedo scene. Hey, boo, we got you, Greedo. Okay, great, fantastic. You know, that's it. We don't really need, it's okay. We're kind of done with you at this point. Greedo shot first, Justin says. Folks in the chat, poll, did Greedo shoot first or not? Is this a big debate, Key? Is this like a real thing? Did Greedo shoot first? I always felt bad for Greedo. Now, here's the question now that we know Han Solo is on the wrong side of the Force. Was Greedo a good guy? Was Greedo the entire time a good guy? Because I had the Greedo action figure going up, and I used to have him get his ass kicked because I thought he was a bad guy. Posed the question today on Twitter. Was Greedo a hero at this point? Left to be like, you're inciting violence. This is how stupid they are. I swear. Put it on. Was Greedo the good guy? Hashtag, there it is. Justice said, Greedo's a hero. Greedo the hero. We love it. Hey, you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. But guess what? There's hope on the horizon with Beam Stream Powder. They sent me something to try. It's been a game changer for me. Seeing we're sleeping well, we're sharper, more focused, ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. Other sleep aids can cause next day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Right now, Beam's offering my listeners exclusive early access to their Black Friday sale. It's their biggest sale of the year. My listeners can shop it early before anyone else. Get up to 50% off when you visit shopbeam.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout. You've been hearing me rave about Beam all year. It's your chance to finally try it for the lowest price of the year. So head on over to shopbeam.com/Bongino, enter code Bongino, and unlock your early access. That's shop. You guys could jump ahead there. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 50% off. Shopbeam.com/Bongino, code Bongino for up to 50% off. Thank you, Beam. We appreciate it. Hey, there's a lot at stake in the upcoming election. But regardless of who's sitting in the White House, the fuse on the economy has already been lit. 4 years of a conservative presidency will not be enough to turn the tide on our $35 trillion national debt. And if the left wins, it's like throwing gas on a dumpster fire. You don't have a lot of control over the election outcome, but you can help protect your savings by diversifying now into gold from Birch Gold. For millennia, gold's often stood firm in the face of greedy governments, economic upheavals, and global strife. It can help protect you now. Birch Gold's My Gold Company will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. In the past 4 years, inflation has seen increases of as much as 19%. The price of gold has increased 40%. Coincidence? Text Dan to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold and trust Birch Gold like I do to help protect your savings. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates apply. Paid for by Birch Gold, BIRCH. We appreciate it. Folks, I want to show you another one. This is not how you close. And then I got to do some debunking because I heard a whole lot of bullshit this morning on Fox and Friends. Thankfully, Brian Kilmeade fought back, but one of Kamala Harris's surrogates, a hapless tool named Chris Murphy, a colossal bag like you've never seen before, lied his way through a extended, did you see it, Jim, this morning? About a 15-minute interview. Kilmeade did a really good job fighting back, but the bullshit was endless. Everything they tell you is bullshit. But here's a closing argument against Kamala on that, and then I'm going to make a case with headlines, so I'm not done. I may have to jump ahead to that, guys, because I got to get to this no matter what. I'm going to make the closing argument. But here's Kamala, the fakest candidate you've ever seen. Notice in this side-by-side how she even fakes what appears to be these acute reactions to these just little minutia, these things that happen. It's all fake. Everything is rehearsed. Watch this.
You already voted? Oh, my goodness. That's great. Thank you.
If you're listening on Apple or Spotify on demand, watch that video. Dan, it's the same thing. It is, but it's not. It's the same thing at two different speeches, side by side. The exact same reaction. The fake response. You were. Someone told her to do that. Yeah. Look, even watch the hands. Watch the hands. Here, fake clap. And I think she even claps the same amount of times. There we go. Look around. Look. Oh, my gosh. Pretend you're surprised. Oh, smile. Look. Oh, wait, leave it there. The cackle. Look at the cackle. Like
Hillary with the balloons.
Oh, yeah. Remember, Jim just brought up a good point. Remember Hillary, every time there was a balloon launch, the DNC here, Here. She looks like this guy. This guy. Oh my gosh! Holy shit! Balloons! Whoa! Balloons! Hands. Here's the hand. Fucking clowns, man. You got a chance to really tomorrow send these people into the political phantom zone. There you go. That was it, Jim. Look, balloons. Holy shit. Like you've never seen balloons before. Let me hit a few. Everything these people do is fake, bro. Everything they do is fake. So this morning, I'm going to give you a little bit of debunking here for your friends. Chris Murphy, who is just a goofball Democrat senator, a hapless buffoon, was on Fox and Friends this morning. Again, it doesn't matter how many times you debunk their bullshit. I'm telling you absolutely categorically, it is a fact. Nobody lies like Democrats. No one. They lie about everything. He's on this morning saying, well, the Trump tax cuts only benefited the wealthy, that the majority of the benefit went to the wealthiest, 85% of... Folks, this took me all of 5 seconds to pull up, and I pulled up the biggest left-wing communist fact checker we could find so lefties won't go, you're pulling up Breitbart or something, or Bongino.com. Not that I don't trust them. I obviously do. But I don't want to hear it. Here's your own left-wing analyst, Glenn Kessler, who's the biggest bullshit artist around, even telling you it's a false claim. Biden's false claim that no one but the rich got Trump's tax cuts. They know, Kessler, and he's actually correct, that it shouldn't be a shocker that gross amounts of money are going to go to people who, if you get a tax cut, that if you're doing it on gross, that of course, the people who pay the most taxes, if there's a tax cut, are going to get the largest benefit. It doesn't mean that the rich benefited at the expense of anyone else. Go to the second slide. All he's noting here is that that's bullshit because the wealthy already paid most of the taxes in this country. He notes, moreover, when the Tax Policy Center looked at the impact of the tax bill, they concluded that in 2018, most people would see an overall reduction in... Wait, that says most people, guys. I thought Chris Murphy said it only benefited the rich. The Tax Policy Center found that 80% of all taxpayers would have a tax cut. That's weird. I thought they said the opposite. This is the Washington Post, folks, compared with about 5% experience a tax increase. In the middle, talking about the middle class, 91% would get a tax cut, averaging about $1,090 a year. Folks, they just lie to you all the time. It's all bullshit. These people lie to you all the time. How do I know it's bullshit? Here's the king of the bullshitters, Obama, out there this weekend, again, parroting the fine people hoax, despite the fact that this thing has been debunked 65 different ways from Sunday. It doesn't matter. They will lie, and lie because they can't tell you the truth about who they are because they're fake frauds like Kamala Harris. Listen to Obama.
Maybe you're Muslim American or Jewish American, and you are heartbroken and furious about the ongoing bloodshed in the Middle East and worried about the rise of anti-Semitism. Why would you place your faith in somebody who instituted a so-called Muslim ban, who sat down for pleasantries with Holocaust deniers, who said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally?
He's just making that up, folks. He did not say that. He said the opposite. I quote, completely condemn the white supremacists. It doesn't matter. These people lie. They are full of shit all the time. Listen, I warned you they're not going to go quietly. And the biggest rabble-rouser right now on the left, I had my cousin reach out the other day and say, Dan, you think they're going to invoke the 14th Amendment? Are they going to impeach him right away? Folks, they're already talking about it. Was it the Washington Post or something this morning that implied that? Jamie Raskin was on Mar this weekend. This guy's a big troublemaker, already talking about stopping this certification or at very minimum winking and nodding at people. This is a real threat. Folks, I have one more break I have to get to. I really appreciate your patience, sincerely. We've had a lot of demand on the show. They keep the show free, so thank you very much. Last break, and I promise I'm going to get back to it. Hey, many Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on our values. Thankfully, there's companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and our rights. I'm proud to partner with Patriot Mobile because they're on the front lines fighting for our rights, the sanctity of life, and our military and first responder heroes. Take a stand for conservative causes. Put America first. Switch to Patriot Mobile today. You get the same nationwide coverage as the big providers because Patriot Mobile operates across all three major networks. Plus, they back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will find the best plan for your needs. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Do it now and get a free month when you sign up and use the offer code DAN. Don't be fooled by other providers pretending to share our values or have the same coverage. They don't and they can't. Join me. Switch to Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative mobile provider. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT for your free month of service today. Thanks, Patriot Mobile. I want you to watch this. This is Jamie Raskin Folks, we're like the freaking supermarket. We always bring receipts. Tell me now, after listening to this, that the Democrats are not planning for major chaos if we execute and win this thing tomorrow. They are. You've got to be ready for it. And I'm just going to send out one final note before elections to the local constitutional sheriffs. You guys are on the right side of history. Make sure, obviously, you know, everybody's constitutional rights are respected. We get that. You guys are all about that. Have a plan, because they are preparing for something really nasty if we win this thing. We can defeat it. We can win the day, and the right thing. We can make the right thing, not the easy thing, happen. But we're going to have a plan. Listen to Jamie Raskin. You'll see what I mean. Check this out.
When I say we will support a free and fair election, no, we're not going to allow them to steal it in the states or steal it at the Department of Justice or steal it with any other election official in the country. If it's a free and fair election, we will do what we've always done. We will honor it.
So, finally.
You notice how he puts this caveat in there about this free and fair election. People say to me, "Oh, yeah, he's acknowledging that they're gonna concede the election." That's not what he's doing. They're already preparing to say it's not a free and fair election. Elon Musk, disinformation, Republican disinformation. The Washington Post has written a story about me with my name in it. I think the last 3 days or something like that. I got to go back and check. They're like obsessed. There's another one out there now I just saw during the break from another outlet. Was it Variety? They are so obsessed. It's like that Glenn Close Fatal Attraction Boiling Bunny thing. They are so obsessed. And I promise you, after the election, they are not going to go quietly if they lose. I promise. Just be careful. Everybody be careful. Now, if they can't make a closing argument, then, ladies and gentlemen, it's one thing to complain about it. It's another thing to do something yourself. I think it's our obligation to make a closing argument. I don't want to forget something. Let me write this down. It's our obligation to make a closing argument for Donald Trump. You ready? I want you to bookmark this segment, okay? This time marker was about 45 minutes in or so to the show. And if you have any undecided friends, I want you to ask them a simple question. I'm not trying to convince you who to vote for at this point. I'm just going to ask you one simple question. What can you live without? I'm not going to ask you who you want, because you don't want either. You're still undecided. Can you live without some of this stuff I'm about to show you? Here's a closing argument just based purely on headlines. And for those of you out there, I'm going to use a mix of stuff, but these are real headlines just over the last few weeks. And you tell me, can you live without this? Because if the answer is yes, there's only one candidate, and that's Donald Trump. Start with the New York Post. New York Post, illegal migrant accused of shooting a Jewish man heading to Chicago synagogue, charged with a hate crime and terrorism. What's that first word say, fellas? Illegal migrant. So there was a suspected terror attack. It was a terror attack, but then the suspect is an illegal migrant. And Kamala Harris is the border czar. How many of you, by the way, how many in the chat, how many people have heard this story? It kind of got squashed this weekend. You notice that? You think if this happened and Trump was the president, it gets squashed? An illegal migrant in a terror attack, the suspect? You didn't hear much about this, did you? You happen to be a Jewish voter? An honest question, are you content with a candidate who placates terrorism and placates the campus terror crowd and all that? I'm just asking a question. What can you live without? I'm not asking you what candidate you want if you're undecided. You obviously don't know. I'm not being a dick about it, or else you wouldn't be undecided. I'm asking you, what can you live without? Can you live without illegal migrants and terror attacks? Serial murderers and sex offenders in the country illegally? I don't know. You got to answer that yourself. That's it? No, of course that isn't it. Can you live without this? Fox Business, November 1st, just a few days ago. U.S. economy added 12,000 jobs in October, well below economists' expectations. By the way, most of those were government jobs, and that doesn't even factor in the revisions, which will likely be downward as they've historically been. You want more of that? You want crap, garbage? How is it that with AI, and the post-COVID economic explosion that should have happened, how is it that we still can't add good, high-quality jobs to the economy? The answer is because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are sucking up all the money on government programs and misallocating resources. Can you live without that? If you can live without that, you have one choice, Donald Trump. Is that it? Hell no, it isn't. Fox Business, October 30th, just last week. U.S. economy grew 2.8% in the third quarter, slower than expected. Economists expected the GDP to grow at 3% in the quarter. They couldn't even meet that. 3%, by the way, is no great shakes. It's probably the historical standard we should have been at if we didn't have a bunch of big government interventions, and they couldn't even hit that. Imagine trying to close your campaign. You've got every opportunity to juice the economy, right? Pull back regulations, let liquid natural gas flow, let the AI market do its own thing without government intervention, stop getting involved in fabs, let them do their own thing. They couldn't even do that, folks. They had one chance over the final couple quarters to juice the economy by stepping aside and winning this election and sending a signal to the business world that they were serious, and they couldn't even do that. Can you live without that? And there's only one answer in this election. There's more. What about this? I told you the FBI was lying about the crime data, indicating somehow the crime data was down, which is fascinating. You go in any liberal city, you go into a drugstore, you're like, hey man, let me get a little bit of deodorant. You're like, that's locked behind a bank vault. We need 6 people, a witness, and a safe. It's like the nuclear codes. You ever see it when both people have to put in the chip thing at the same time? They're like, 1, 2, 3, get the deodorant, get the deodorant. So it's true, is it not? They need like the manager and 67 people to open the vault so you can go get a freaking, you're out for a date night. You go out, you're like, hey, let me get some deodorant, some of that cologne. Hold on, man. Let's get the manager here. All right, countdown. 3, 2, open the vault. Pull out the Dracar Noir. Jim's like, I remember that from back in the day. So we were like, Jim and I saw these FBI crimes. They were like, Biden's and Kamala Harris are great on crime. We're like, we are? They are? What are they, crazy? Kamala Harris was the AG and the district attorney, and crime's going crazy in these states. Washington Times. New FBI data shows crime increased, even as Biden said it dropped. That was from October. Of when? 2014? No, 2024. When was that, Jim? Oh, Jim says last month. That's correct, because it was. Because they were lying to you, just like we said they were. Can you live without that? You can live without exploding crime in liberal cities run by people who share the exact same ideology as Biden and Harris, and there's only one candidate for you. You want some more? This is how you make a closing argument. Here's the New York Post. You know Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan? Dan, that guy's no conservative. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. J.P. Morgan's Jamie Dimon slams Biden-Harris administration over the, quote, onslaught of red tape. Quote, I've had it with this shit. This guy, Jim, is Jamie Dimon a noted conservative? And he is not. He's not. He is not. I'm not even sure he's ever voted Republican. I don't know. It's a secret ballot. I would guess no. Kind of strange that even Jamie Dimon in the financial industry, who typically loves these Biden-Harris people because they get to kind of jerry-rig the rules, even he's like, man, this administration really sucks with red tape. Can you live without that? If you can, you only have one choice. Let me throw another one at you. What if you're a union auto worker anywhere in America? You want to be making electric cars? The answer is no, you don't, because you won't be making electric cars. You'll be sitting home because they don't need a lot of people to make electric cars because it's a battery and some wheels. Okay, granted, a lot of compute. If you're a coder, you got a really good opportunity in the electric car industry. People don't want to buy electric cars. People don't. That's why they're sitting on lots. Automotive news, October 31st, i.e. last week. Ford, like the car company. Sorry, there are liberals listening. To idle F-150 Lightning electric vehicle plant in mid-November for the rest of the year. Why do you think they'd be doing that, Jim? Why would they idle a plant? You have any idea?
Nobody wants those cars.
No effing way. They're idling the plant because nobody wants to buy the Lightning truck. That's insane. That's crazy. I thought we were told by Biden and Harris, even after juicing the cost by giving taxpayer dollars, your money to other people to buy electric cars, even people getting that money are like, I don't want that car. No thanks. Kind of strange, right? How auto works. If you're an auto worker, we love you. We're welcoming you in the movement. I'm just telling you, you're being bullshitted by the other side. Can you live without that? Losing your job in the auto industry because they're trying to juice an electric vehicle business that nobody wants? Then you got one choice. Let me end with this one. You live in the state of California, we're on the radio there. KABC, KSFO, and a whole bunch of other stations out there. And we have a huge audience for the podcast. Hey, chat, folks in the chat, who's from California? We got a lot of people from California who watch this show. The conservatives out there fighting the fight, love you guys. You're the best, man. But California, I don't think anybody doubts it, is a model of liberal governance. That's why people are leaving California. That's why they're practicing the Snake Plissken Escape from L.A. A generally terrible movie, but it had a good top-line message because a lot of people are escaping from New York and L.A. I wish it weren't the case. Beautiful place, but they are. Interesting that Gavin Newsom, who went full green, he went all in on the Green New Deal, local-type projects and all that stuff. He now needs a climate bailout from the federal government because energy prices in California are exploding. Kamala Harris is even more left than Gavin Newsom. You want more of this? You want to pay $7 a gallon for gas like they were in California at some point? Then go ahead. You vote for Kamala Harris. She is definitely your candidate. Now, you may be saying to yourself, you know what? Kamala Harris is an agent of change. I believe it. Hopey changey. She said it. She said there's a new way forward. She did. Are you sure about that? Because Kamala Harris was asked by a View host, Sonny Hostin, who is generally pretty crazy, was asked, is there anything you would do different than Joe Biden? All this stuff, all these headlines, I just closed the argument for you. Would you do anything different? And her answer was this. Check this out.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Just going to let that kind of stew. What can you live without? What can you live without? I can live without a lot of that. Folks, I'm going to give you one more impassioned plea, from the bottom of this sometimes broken heart over politics. I've been dealing with a lot of shit over the last 3 3/4 years. A cancer scare, a lot of personal issues I don't talk about on the air, a lot of drama and stuff, business expansions, some hits, some misses. Consult with your healthcare provider. Check out Jace, folks. All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're doing with the early voting, you are kicking ass. More. Whenever you think it's enough, more. If your friends tell you enough, it's more. If mommy and daddy tells you enough, it's more. If you're telling your kids it's enough, your kids should say more. If your aunt and uncle said to your kids, hey, Joey, it's not enough, the kids should say more. Some of you could still go out and vote today. Why haven't you done it? More. They are freaking out, folks. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia. I'm going to show you later on. I'm going to get into the show a specific congressional district in Virginia, how bad it looks for them. I'm not telling you we're going to win Virginia. The Democrats could still turn out en masse on game day. That means do not sword off the cork on the freaking champagne yet. I'm just telling you, you guys, thank you. Can I take a moment for a second to thank you? And I'm not being a dick about it. I'm telling you straight. As a friend in the movement, there's nothing special about me. I'm just some dumbass with a microphone, okay? That's all I am. There's nothing special about me. I put together a show you guys like, and I appreciate it. But I want you to know as one of you, thank you. What you guys are doing is real. The data does not lie. You are turning out in numbers so scary and frightening to them on the day after Halloween, they don't know what to do. They are figuratively in shock. They're in like a medical figurative shock right now. The Nevada numbers have them crapping in their diapers and they've run out of wipies. They don't know what to do. They don't know what you're making it mathematically impossible for them to scam in big enough numbers to fleece this thing. Then this just happened today. Let me say in advance, and I'm not messing with you, I don't wish a bad economy on anyone. However, if you're going to do crap things like the Inflation Production Act, mounds of red tape like we haven't seen in American history, flood the market with illegal aliens, destroy international trade, destroy the value of the dollar, you're going to get crappy job numbers. It's called Kamalanomics and Bidenomics. This just popped this morning, surprising absolutely no one. The jobs numbers were absolute shit yet again. Take a look at this.
Jobs report, and the prophecy came true. Jobs light, 12,000 in non-farm payroll. That is the lightest going back to December of 2020.
Sometimes I look in the chat for comment of the day. Today it goes to Michael, who could be in the chat, but decided to say it out loud instead. Michael said, and they haven't even been revised down yet. They're at only 12,000 jobs, which might as well be negative. When they get revised down, I promise it'll be like minus 740,000 jobs. They haven't even revised it yet. Folks, everything you feel about the economy being ugly and bad right now is real. Is it the worst economy ever? It is not. Could the economy be growing at nearly 1.5 times the rate it is now if Joe Biden and Kamala weren't in the way? You bet your ass it could. Folks, this is all about pictures and sound bites, all of it. And they are failing. They are failing. They are losing the messaging battle. They are losing the economics battle. They are losing the battle on the school choice front, on the healthcare front, on the immigration front, on the international chaos front. They are losing everywhere. And Donald Trump has stayed on message. Despite the Democrats' efforts to kick him into Jimmy and bring him off and pull him off into these side messages, he has stayed on message. Here's Donald Trump at the rally yesterday talking about exactly this. This is the message, the soundbite we need to hit. Check this out.
I would like to begin by asking a very, very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Hat tip Margot Martin from his campaign who took that on her cell phone. That's why I could have got that video, but I want you to see that because that is the message that's working. Folks, I need you to listen to me. I said this on the radio show yesterday. You have to understand how tactically right now the Kamala Harris campaign is in a free fall. They lost their last messaging day last night. And I got to tell you, because my audience is amazing, someone sent me an email. My email still floats around out there. Some people have it. And I actually don't read it. I'm not trying, but it goes to it. And sometimes people forward me stuff and say, you shouldn't need to read this. I said yesterday on the show, I don't know who was here for the late shift on the radio. I said their messaging opportunities are over. Folks, if Kamala Harris was going to change the narrative, Election Day is when? Tuesday. It is now what? Friday. It's a live show. Everybody wave. Here's my phone. Look, that's me on the thing. So there you go. Proof of life right there. Today's live. Pretty much always live. Their last messaging day was yesterday, Thursday night. Nobody on a Friday night is sitting home waiting for a Kamala Harris speech on how she's going to change her campaign. Nobody's home on a Saturday doing that. Nobody's home on a Sunday doing that. Oh, Dan, maybe she's got Monday? Monday. You're assuming Monday that she's going to change. In that 24 hours, she's going to change her mind. Not going to happen. What was I bringing up about the email? A very astute listener, I'm surprised. Many of you probably caught this, but this one was the only one who got through to me. He said, Dan, you're wrong. They're already done. It's Halloween yesterday, which I totally forgot. No, there people were out trick-or-treating. Folks, if she needs to flip 1 or 2% of the electorate, millions of people, it's done. I'm not telling you the race is over. I want to be very clear. They can absolutely win this thing. I'm not kidding. Don't get cocky. There are a lot of people out there who are still on the sidelines. This thing isn't even close to over. But as I've said repeatedly, if you're a betting man right now and you got a gun to your head and you got to pick, you're damn right. I don't care who you are. You're picking Donald Trump. If it's life or death and you had to pick, you're damn right you're picking Donald Trump right now. He is well over 50% chance to win. But that's not making me comfortable. I want a 99% chance of winning, not a 53.5% chance. Their messaging opportunities are over. They're over. I'm sorry. And you know what? That goes for Donald Trump, too. He was out yesterday working. Kamala Harris was doing basically the same spiel she gives all the time, which is going to change nothing. However, there were sound bites that really stung yesterday. And I'm not talking about us. They tried to make something out of nothing with the Liz Cheney thing. That's not what he was talking about, Donald Trump, the thing about she was talking about Liz Cheney sending people over to war, not having skin in the game. Don't even pay any mind to that. That's actually, if you listen to it, that whole clip, you'll understand exactly what he was saying. So forget that. That soundbite's not going to do anything. Matter of fact, if anything, I think the libertarian vote's going to be like, man, he's right. All these politicians love sending people to war. It's not their skin in the game. I'm not even going to play it because it's not worth the time and I got a lot to get through. I will, however, play a closing argument for the Kamala campaign that did break through yesterday that I'm telling you sure as hell ain't working for them. If your closing argument is half of America is garbage and Trump, if you support him, you're a stupid woman, that smart women don't support Donald Trump, you're probably losing. You're probably losing. Why? Because it's soundbiteable. 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 It's short. Donald Trump doesn't surround himself with smart women. A lot of smart women are going, really? You're saying I'm an idiot? It's a soundbite. That's why it hurts. Who said that? Another Kamala Harris surrogate, Mark Cuban, who, Michael, would you agree? Keep this guy out there. Is there a way for us to finance Mark Cuban's? We should get like a give, send, go going. Keep Mark Cuban on the campaign trail. This is exactly the soundbite you don't want. Check this out.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
Thank you for leaving that in. What? It's just that simple. Why is this destructive? Number one, because it's patently offensive, stupid, and moronic. But folks, a lot of campaigns, Republican and Democrats, say stupid, moronic things all the time. It's a soundbite. How do we know it's a soundbite? Guy, how long is that whole clip? Play it again. This is what's called a soundbite.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
6 seconds. It's just that simple. You don't think that thing is rocketing around suburban mom America, who may be on the fence going, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump's personality, but life was certainly a little better. Is this guy calling me a moron? Folks, do not for a second downplay this. It is a soundbite. Listen to your boy here. I will never steer you wrong. If he would have made a more elaborate case, bear with me a second. If Cuban would have said that in, say, 10 or 12 sentences, but still made the same point. If you're a woman, you're an idiot. You shouldn't support Donald Trump, but said it in a more verbose way, it wouldn't be as damaging because no one's going to listen to it. People don't have time. That 6-second clip is gloriously bad for this idiot. Keep this guy on the campaign trail. My gosh, a smart business guy. They're probably the single worst spokesperson I have ever seen. Can we, seriously, is there a way to I know he's rich, but can we finance Mark Pack or something and get some money to get this guy out there over the weekend? I mean, has there ever been a more out-of-touch billionaire who has no relationship to the American voter whatsoever? Why do they keep letting this guy talk? Now, some more good news going into the weekend. Again, I'm going to give you, there's a lot of good news, and I want you to love it, and I want you to feel good. I feel amazing. A very good friend of mine, you both know in the business, reached out to me yesterday and said, how do you feel? I'd show you the text, but again, I want to put people's number obviously on the screen. I said to him, and I quote, I am feeling amazing. I'm feeling amazing because I know you're going to execute. I know it. I know it. Make plans for Election Day. I know it. I have never felt better. I called it in 2016. I was worried in 2020. I feel great now. Why? Going back again to have now becoming famous on my show. Harry Enton on CNN. Damn, why do you keep playing CNN? Because I don't want to be accused of giving you propaganda. I'm giving you both sides. This is a CNN analyst yet again saying to Democrats, if these guys pull this off, man, don't you dare say you weren't warned. The signs are everywhere. Watch this.
They have been gaining in party registration versus the Democrats in the swing states with party registration. We're talking Arizona. I think it's a 5-point. They've expanded their lead from 5 points from where it was back in 2020. How about Nevada? Big Republican registrations there. They like the early vote. How about North Carolina? Big Republican registration gains. How about Pennsylvania? We spoke about it before a few months ago. Big Republican Party registration gains versus from where they were 4 years ago. So Republicans are putting more Republicans in the electorate. The Democratic number versus the Republican number has shrunk. And so the bottom line is, if Republicans win come next week, Donald Trump comes next week, the signs all along will have been obvious. We would look at the right direction being very low, Joe Biden's approval rating being very low, and Republicans really registering numbers. You can't say you weren't warned.
It's not me. It's not me. I'm under withering attack by the left-wing commie media. I'm not complaining about it at all. Believe me, it is a sign of power. I'm actually Slate Magazine, Washington Post, 3 more articles I just saw. Dan Bongino, political podcast under withering attack. Folks, they are shitting their pants. They don't know what to do right now. They know that it's that moment where Bane grabs that business guy in the Batman movie. Do you feel like you're in charge? They know they're losing the war. They've lost the battle. They may lose the war on Tuesday. They know it. They know the truth is won out. I am giving you both sides. I am telling you that, yes, we could lose. There could be, I'm serious, there could be a massive Democrat turnout on Tuesday. They've done it before. They surprised us in the midterms. They could overperform the polls. But I got to be realistic with you, too. Numbers at this point matter, not people's thoughts, not people's polls or opinions. Early voting numbers. It is an electoral bloodbath. So the media matters. People can't take me out of context. An electoral bloodbath. There's no sugarcoating this. Nevada has to have them freaking out. Early voting, the right direction, wrong direction. The GDP number going down instead of up. The jobs numbers, absolute shit. Biden calling America garbage. Mark Cuban telling women are stupid, basically, who if they support Donald Trump. Harry Enton saying voter registration numbers in the Republican side. In other words, people who actually went to a voter location said, change my registration. That's real. That's real. I want to give you something else, too. Numbers matter. Everything else is bullshit. Numbers matter. Throw the polls out. This is one of the best. Is this an article in a newsletter? Folks, read this. Go to my newsletter, Bongino.com/newsletter. It's free. It's free. There's no sign up. Everybody go. Bongino Army, go today. Please, we put great articles there. Bongino.com/newsletter. You get the podcast in your email box every day. We will not spam your inbox, I promise you. We are very careful with our emails. Read this Breitbart article. It is worth your time. The Democrats are taking copium right now. Copium. They are trying to cope because they know they are in real trouble. I told you opening the show, they're already finger pointing. He did it. He did it. He did it. That guy did it. That guy did it. That is not how a winning campaign acts. They know they're in real trouble. Why? Because they keep saying with the early voting, oh, don't sweat it, voters. It's just Republicans who would have voted on Election Day. In other words, HPVs, not human papillomavirus, high propensity voters. They're saying, don't worry, they're just not going to show up on Election Day because they can't. They already voted. That's not what's happening. That's copium. Breitbart. 613,000 Georgia voters who did not participate in the 2020 election have voted early. Did not participate. In other words, low propensity voters. How can you cannibalize something that would have never happened? They would have never voted outside of Trump. Here, in a social media post, AJC political reporter Greg Bluestein, who's no conservative, by the way, pointed out, and I quote, the highest early voting turnout in Georgia isn't in Democrat strongholds like DeKalb or the contested suburbs surrounding metro Atlanta. It's in sparsely populated rural counties where Republicans dominate, Bluestein added. More. Kylo Ren style. More. Get your electoral lightsaber out. More. 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 They don't know what to do, man. They don't know what to do. Wait, one more. Throw that Virginia one up. I'll take a break in a second. Look at Christian Hines on Twitter. Here's another one I'm just throwing out at you. These are numbers. Remember what I told you. You guys are really good at politics. You got to understand that in politics, I'm trying to put together like a political dictionary for you in case you run. The Cook PVI is an important number. It's Charlie Cook's Partisan Value Index. It measures the Republican or Democrat lean of a congressional district. That's one thing you should be familiar with. Another thing I mention all the time is 4x4s. 4x4 voters are the most valuable thing in politics. They are freaking gold. They are absolute gold. They are people who voted in the last 4 primaries, last 4 general elections. They're gold. They're showing up if there's a freaking Book of Eli nuclear war. You understand? Why do you do 4x4? Why not 5x5s? Well, you can. The reason you do 4x4s is there's a lot of newer voters on the ballot. And if you just include, 4x4s, if 5x5s, you're going back 5 presidential elections. You're talking about 20 years by simple math, okay? 4x4 is the best way. Look at this. Here's Virginia Congressional District 9, broken down by voter propensity. 4x4 voters, in other words, high propensity voters. Look at the numbers. GOP, 43,000, Democrats, 17. You got 3 or 4. Go all the way down to 1 or 4. Here's the low propensity voters. 8,500 GOP, 849 Dem. Here's the best one. These are in low propensity voters. These are no propensity voters, 0 out of 4. They haven't voted anything. Holy Moses. 8,483 Republicans, 190 Democrats. You're damn right, brother. That's a freaking huge number. Folks, they are lying to you, the Democrats. It is copium. It is copium. We are not cannibalizing shit. These people showing up are coming out of the woodwork. They have never voted before, not most, but a lot of them. And they are overwhelmingly in our favor. More. Folks, I'm feeling really, really good about election night. I want you to celebrate it with us. Rumble.com/Bongino. Please, let's melt the internet that night. Let's send a message to the mainstream media that their days are over. They've been attacking me for a week. I'm not kidding, by the way. You think I'm exaggerating? Put in Bongino Washington Post, Bongino Slate Magazine, Bongino New York Times, Bongino Mediaite. It's everywhere. They can't. They know we're kicking their ass. The Bongino army, we're in charge now. We're in charge now. Quick break, and I'm going to show you something else. How Garbage Gate is still going. The biggest can of worms ever has been opened up, and now the potential crimes have been committed. Oh, yeah. Hey, ask my friends at Tax Network USA about this IRS crackdown everyone's been talking about. Here's their advice. If you owe back taxes, please don't gamble with the IRS. It's a no-win. That's why you need Tax Network USA on your side. Their attorneys and expert negotiators employ aggressive strategies to help settle your IRS issues quickly and in your favor, even if you haven't filed in 1, 5, or 10 years. What gives Tax Network USA the edge? Their preferred direct line to the IRS. They know which agents to talk to and which to avoid. They won't back down until they secure the best settlement for you, which could save you thousands. That's how they help resolve over $1 billion in tax debt for people like you. Don't wait until the IRS closes it. Give Tax Network USA a call. It's free. Talk with one of their strategists. See how they can help you. Imagine putting this nightmare behind you with your taxes. Call 800-958-1000 or visit TNUSA, short for Tax Network, TNUSA.com/Dan, TNUSA.com/Dan. Check it out. Thanks, Tax Network. We appreciate it. Folks, this, again, the closing message. The reason Mark Cuban hurt them so badly, the reason Joe Biden hurt them so badly is not because they said something dumb. Listen to your boy here, okay? Politicians say dumb shit all the time, but they talk in word salads and it gets lost. It gets lost. Joe Biden was soundbiteable. You're garbage. Cuban, soundbiteable. Trump doesn't surround himself with smart women. It's that simple. No, it isn't, Mark. Soundbiteable. the garbage thing for Joe Biden is a disaster. How do we know something's bad? Folks in the chat, I'm looking at you right now. Tell me how we know a situation is bad. Let's see who's been paying attention to the Dan Bongino show. This is a P1 question. How do we know something is really bad for the Democrats? What do we measure? What do we measure? Tell me. Yeah, the first one wins. I'm looking. But I'm sorry, the chat goes so quick. Yeah, who is? Yes! Jay Bag of Donuts. Jay Bag of Donuts. Get him on the screen. Jay Bag of Donuts, you win. Ding, 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 ding. The chatster of the day, Jay Bag of Donuts says, the media reaction. That is Jay Bag of Donuts. That is so good. That was awesome. Jay, oh my gosh, did we just like break the chat again? No, we did. They talk about it. They can't shut up. Folks, I'm telling you right now, when they see you floundering on something, they will typically just let it go and let you continue to do it. The reason they're trying to stop this is because they know it's effective. I want you to listen to the most ridiculous media commentary yet on Joe Biden's "you're garbage" comment. Here's Kelly O'Donnell. I mean, an obvious partisan hack, LOLing the world to death, claiming somehow that this is Joe Biden's stutter. Do you understand? Joe Biden has said himself, he's beat the stutter, which is good. It's not funny. I don't wish that on anybody. It's a troublesome thing. It's not funny. None of this stuff is funny. It's not a joke. I don't think any of it's funny. I never wish ill will on anyone. This show abhors violence and dumb shit like that. But let's be real. Joe Biden himself has said a stutter's not an issue anymore. Yet Kelly O'Donnell is now an audiologist and is claiming that, yeah, you know what, this has something to do with this stuff. This is how crazy this has gotten for them. Watch this.
What they are trying to say is that the president was referring to the demonization being garbage from one prominent supporter, the comedian who appeared at the Madison Square Garden event for Donald Trump. If you look at about a minute's worth of the remarks from President Biden when he was speaking to Latino groups last night, that context appears more clear. Also, it's important to know that the president always has that battle against stuttering, and that seemed to be apparent in this as well.
This is not journalism. This is not journalism by Kelly O'Donnell. It's embarrassing. He's had a battle with stuttering that appears apparent. In other words, like you should just take it at face value that it was a stutter despite actually listening to the clip yourself. This is not even opinion. It's propaganda. Kelly O'Donnell, I'm serious, has no, as far as I know, zero medical background. She is not an audiologist. She is not a speech pathologist. She has no idea. She's pretending to give you the news while making a totally unfounded assertion that a stutter Joe Biden himself has said he has beat had something to do with him calling you garbage. They are freaking out, man. They know they've alienated most of the country. And folks, as I said to you in the beginning, there are no more messaging opportunities to save themselves. It's over. Halloween was last night. The weekend, it's a weekend before election. I'm going to be working this weekend. I got news for you. Americans do stuff. You got HVAC guys out there with jobs. You've got pilots that got to fly planes. You've got military folks putting their ass on the line for you. They don't get to take a break while they're shooting at terrorists and go, hold on, I want to get the election results. The message opportunity's over. This is how bad this is. Tampon Tim was so freaked out about the garbage truck episode with Donald Trump, which only highlighted how bad this was. Tampon Tim now, this is the Tampon Tim who cannot stop with the jazz hands and the just kicking and the gesticulation. No one knows what this guy's ever doing. Here he is, still focused on this. Donald Trump is old. Man, he had a hard time getting into a garbage truck. Donald Trump is in his 70s. So you're suggesting if you're 70 years old, you're supposed to leap into the garbage truck like freaking Carl Lewis at the Olympics? Do you really think this is a good closing line? Watch this. This is desperation.
80 years old. He damn near killed himself getting into a garbage truck.
He thinks this is funny? This is the soundbite you want to close out. Making fun of 80-year-olds? Folks, I'm 50 in December, okay? I got to tell you, I have a hard time getting up to... You really... Do you think this is a closing message? That's the best you can do? There he is, king of the tampon. Folks in the chat, light it up. Light it up with Tampon T. Back again. You know how Zeus throws those thunderbolts? Woo! Where's my football, by the way? Oh, it's behind Fugazi. That's right. Fugazi's back. Light up the chat with Fugazi. In honor of Frank, we love you. We'll be looking forward to your reaction on November 6th. If we win or lose, of course, Fugazi's the voice of reason. Here we go. The great Chicago Bear legend, Dan Hampton, sent me this football. Bongino, you rock, Dan Hampton, Hall of Fame because he's the best. Here it is. All those are the Dan Hampton football. Here's Tampon Tim. Like Zeus throws thunderbolts, Tampon Tim throws the tampon. We love Dan Hampton. Go give him a shout out on Twitter, by the way. You have no idea how much stuff we have in this office, man. This office is like a museum of stuff people have sent us. I'm not even kidding. You got this detective badge here. Secret Service coins people have sent me. Ren and Stimpy. Happy, Georgia. This is from everyone. Of course, you got to have Jesus because we love Jesus. There's Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. We love you. Oh, Jesus, the back fell apart. I wasn't using the same as vein. Like Jesus, actually, the back fell off. There we go. You got the Donald Trump ball, which we're auctioning off. Don't forget. By the way, do we have the auction site for that yet? We're auctioning this off, folks. All for charity. I want to see big bids. Big bids on this one, okay? That's his actual signature. And he smudged it himself. He's just probably some like DNA on there or something like that. So there you go. You know, you saw it on tape. No, I mean in a good way. I'm not talking about like Bill Clinton or anything like that. But you can check that out. And he did this. This is like a Lego thing, right? This was you, right, Key? We have the Rhinos, Jen Psaki. This is what my desk looks like. You'll all see it in a new studio. Folks, is this also the headline? This is a real headline. I'm having a hard time, I saw this on Libs of TikTok, believing this headline is real. So whenever I send a picture, by the way, guys, you know the rules if I send you a picture of a headline, right? You got to check it out, make sure it's real. I sent them the picture. These guys did their homework. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real headline. Is this really the closing message you want? Newsweek. This is real, right? So we don't get this. Joe Biden bites several babies at Halloween. That's a real headline going into the weekend. Folks, this thing is totally falling apart. I seem like I'm in a good mood today. It's because I really feel like we are about to do something so special and amazing, and I want to experience it with you. But we just have to execute. Please, I know I'm bothering you. I know me haunting you to vote is a pain in the ass. Tell me in the chat, is it too much? Am I driving people crazy? White House. Yeah. Sorry, I totally forgot. Here, by the way, this is what I was talking about with the crime. AP, the White House altered the records of the garbage remarks despite stenographer concerns. Folks, they may have broken the law too. No, thank you, folks. The show's for you, and you understand, right? It's just, people have to have this tattooed on the back of their eyelids. If you don't vote, you let the country collapse and you are going to have to stare your kids in the face. I don't mean to be a dick about it. I'm just telling you. I don't care what you got to do to vote. I had a lady send me a message on Facebook, legit, no joke, that her 86-year-old grandmother broke her hip and they wheeled her into the election booth to go vote. What's our excuse? Zero. All right, when I come back on the other side of the break, I'm glad you put that up, because speaking of crimes, wasn't Douglas Mackey sentenced to jail for putting out a meme joke about how to vote? Did you see what happened with Jimmy Kimmel? Did Jimmy Kimmel break the law on TV? Certainly sounds like there's a lot of misinformation about voting coming from the left. Did you guys see this? Oh, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Their rules, not mine. Their rules. You having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. There is hope on the horizon, though. Beam's Dream Powder. They sent me some a long time ago to try. It's been a total game changer. See, when we're sleeping well, we're sharper, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. Sleep aids can cause the next day grogginess, but Beam's Dream Powder contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. Help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Right now, Beam is offering my listeners exclusive early access to their Black Friday sale. It's our biggest sale of the year. My listeners can shop early before anyone else. Get up to 50% off, 50, when you visit shopbeam.com/Bongino and use the code Bongino at checkout. I get a lot of great feedback about this. You've been hearing me rave about Dream all year. It's your chance to finally try it for the lowest price of the year. Get a good night's sleep. Head on over to shopbeam.com/Bongino. Enter code Bongino and unlock your early access. That's shopbeam, like balance beam, shopbeam.com/Bongino, and use code Bongino for up to 50% off. Thanks, Beam. We appreciate it. Our last sponsor, I'll go back to the show, show you that video. Hey, there's a lot at stake in the upcoming election. You can vote, but regardless of who's sitting in the White House, and you should vote, the fuse in the economy has already been lit. 4 years of a conservative presidency probably not be enough to turn the tide on $35 trillion worth of national debt. If the left wins, forget it. You're throwing gas on a raging dumpster fire. You don't have a lot of control over the election's outcome, but you can help protect your savings by diversifying now into gold from Birch Gold Group. For millennia, gold has stood firm in the face of greedy governments, economic upheavals, and global strife, and it can help protect you now. Birch Gold, my gold company, will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold that doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. In the past 4 years, inflation has seen increases of as much as 19%. The price of gold has increased 40%. Coincidence? Text Dan to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold and trust Birch Gold as I do to help protect your savings. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates apply. Paid for by Birch Gold. So many of you remember Doug Mackey. Doug Mackey put together a meme. It was obviously a joke about voting and Hillary Clinton. It was a major scandal, not what he did, but what happened to him. Because people felt like, wait, are you kidding? This is a total weaponization of government. There it is right there. It was really disgusting what they did to this young man, right? And they said, oh my gosh, you can't mislead people. It's a freaking joke. But the left said the rules have changed, folks. Did they not? The left said if you make a joke about Election Day, it's misinformation and disinformation, and we will, not figuratively, literally throw you in jail. I'd like you to explain this joke then by Jimmy Kimmel and explain to me why Jimmy Kimmel should not be under federal investigation. And by the way, I am not kidding. I saw Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire tweet this, and he's absolutely correct. If the rules are that joke memes about voting that could mislead people are crimes, then Jimmy Kimmel should absolutely 100% be investigated. I am as serious as a heart attack. They want to rewrite the rules. Let him play by them. Watch this.
If you can vote early, vote early. If you can't vote early, vote on time. If you want to vote for Trump, vote late, vote very late. Do your voting on Thursday or maybe Friday. This will be my third time voting against Donald Trump.
New rules, kids, right? They told us them's the rules. I saw Matt Walsh tweet it, and Matt is 100% correct. Jimmy Kimmel, folks in the chat, yes or no? Should Kimmel be under investigation for this? Yes or no? I'd love to see your response. Or should we go with the old like softy Republican? We have to take the high road. There's no what high road? The high road. They're putting people's asses in jail for this. Notice how when it comes to misinformation about elections, the liberals always seem to get a pet. There we go, man. That chat, man. I wasn't even trying to break the chat today, and I think we did. Is there a Bongino? Do we have a Bongino bat signal? Like, can we do a Bongino, like with a, the bat, but put Bongino in it and said, Bongino, get on the case? This may be the first 99.9%. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel should be under investigation. I'm not kidding. All right, enough said on that, but you get the point. They want to play by the new rules. Then let's do it. Now, again, I promise you, this is not one of these a-hole self-praise moments. I just want you to trust me that oh, look at that. I got Bongino. I didn't even know we had that. The Bongino signal's out there, folks. We need a Bongino emoji. And then everybody can call for him in the chat, too. Michael, get on the case with that. You guys are good with that stuff. Hey, I promise I'm never going to steer you wrong. I have no skin in the game. I'm looking you straight in the eye here and telling you this as a friend. I don't want anything for the Trump team. I have donated 6 figures to their campaign. Why are you telling us that? Because I've asked you to donate. I asked you. You think I'm a hypocrite? The top amount I was able to give, I gave. I'm not going to ask you to vote if I don't vote. I'm not going to ask you to go out and advocate the cause and harangue 10 people to vote if I don't do it. Nothing I'm telling you is bullshit. I will live by the same rules I ask you to live by. So when I told you about JD, and a lot of you disagreed, which is fine. It's fine. Actually, it's good. It's good to have a healthy disagreement. I said JD is the guy. A lot of people disagreed with me. I only told you because I had a lot of experience with him. And he was always impressive. Always. I mean, more than impressive. I want you to watch how this guy, he is the trifecta. What's the trifecta in politics? Do you know what this is? It's not a golden rule, but it's up there. Looks the part, acts the part, talks the part. There are very few people who can do all three. Some look but don't act. Some act but don't look. Some look and act but don't talk. He looks, acts, and talks the part. I want you to watch him yesterday with Joe Rogan. And this is just a completely different atmosphere. A guy comfortable anywhere. He can sit down with Kristen Welker and NBC and make her look like an idiot. He can sit down with tech investors and talk about Rumble or Truth or the new ecosystem. But he can be funny too. That's hard to do. He loves this clip. I got to tell you, I'm not so crazy about putting longer form clips on, but watch this with Joe Rogan doing a Kamala Harris impression. This is priceless. Check this out.
The only way I can describe it is she talks in circles.
Yeah.
Right? It's like...
Tim Dillon says it's like she does gypsy curses because she speaks in gypsy curses.
That's very good. But it's, we need to build an opportunity economy because if Americans don't have opportunity, then they're not going to have the opportunity to be American.
Folks, he's just funny and relatable. Contrast that with Tampon Tim, with the gesticulations and the high kicks. You know when like the cheerleaders, they do the aerials? Woo! That's like Tampon Tim, man. He's out there, he's doing aerials, throwing tampon. Hey, tampon for you. You know, like they have the T-shirt guns at the Miami Heat games and stuff. They said he sends out tampons. It's not even close. It's true. He'd have no. It's a good point, Michael. If they had a tampon gun, he'd have no idea to load. Just like that Beretta shotgun, he couldn't figure. He's like, I had this shotgun forever. How do you load it? I don't know. Someone want to help? Here's one more. Here's JD. Again, folks, do not underestimate this guy's ability to connect with the average voter who is a 0x4 or a 1x4. I'm not talking about 4x4s. Like you're all 4x4s. You guys are really active. You know what I'm talking about. I just mentioned it. You're high propensity voters. Do not underestimate this guy's ability to interact with LPVs, low propensity voters, and go, man, this guy's just funny. This, I thought, my humble opinion, was the best clip from the Rogan episode. It was about Hunter Biden. Check this out.
The one thing that Republicans, man, that I think we got really wrong in the last few years is the anti-Hunter Biden stuff. I want to go hang out with Hunter Biden. I mean, I may be the only Republican. That dude.
He was like Hunter S. Thompson without the writing talent. That guy went hard. You got to give it to him.
I would bet $100 that Hunter Biden is voting for Donald Trump for president.
It doesn't seem like he likes his dad. It seems like
his dad. I might bet $20 on his dad voting for Donald Trump for president, especially last night after the garbage comment.
Oh yeah.
That guy is trying to help Donald Trump. We're gonna win. I think we're gonna win. But after we win, I'm going to be convinced that Joe Biden was trying to help us the whole time.
Well, here's
he put on the MAGA hat.
The MAGA hat was crazy.
That was crazy.
When he put on the MAGA hat in front of those guys and they all cheered, and he insisted on keeping the hat, and he took it with him. I think he's very, very resentful that he got ousted in what was essentially a coup.
Yeah.
And
I'd love to know what happened there, by the way.
I would love to know what happened.
Okay, now I'm gonna do what I do on this show. I'm going to play that content, but tell you why it matters, because I'm telling you there's a lot of confusion about this. On our side, forget the left. Forget them. I can't tell you how many people I saw and knew who were like, oh, Dan, we shouldn't joke about Hunter Biden. Folks, I'm telling you, I put my head in my hand and was like, you are totally missing the point. You are totally missing the point. The Joe Rogan show viewers, which it's an enormous show. If you follow the podcasting space, we're the number one or number two conservative podcast. His audience is probably 3 times ours. That's how big it is. It is the biggest podcast in the world, and not even a close second. His average viewer is not a high propensity voter. The only people offended, we shouldn't joke, are high propensity voters who've been living this for a few years. I'm sorry to say, but you got to lighten up a little bit. The low propensity voter who only knows Hunter Biden was partying on the weekends, but has no idea about Privat Bank, Poroshenko. You know that because you're really lit into politics like I am, okay? They don't know that. They don't know. They laughed at this. They get it was a joke. He's trying to be funny. You're totally missing the point. Not you, but I'm telling you, the other side, oh man, we shouldn't joke about this. Let's not go to the end of the campaign with a stick up our ass, please. That's not relatable. You sound like Kamala Harris then trying to play it safe all the time. I'm not talking about you, but you've probably seen it on Twitter. We shouldn't joke. No, we should. We should. It was a funny joke, and it worked. Some jokes aren't. We saw that. But this one worked. Folks, the only polls that matter now, by the way, are ballots. Having said that, I really like this guy, Eric Daughtry. I'm actually trying to get him on my radio show later today. We're going to try to get him on election night. I kind of found him through my friend Drew, and he's been a fantastic analyst, and his numbers are on point. Give him a follow, Eric L. Daw, D-A-U-G-H on X. Tell him we sent you, please. We'd really appreciate that. I told you polls at this point don't matter. Forget them, throw them out. But I'd be remiss if I did not throw this one last point out there. Eric points out that the final electoral college map, based on the most accurate pollster of 2020, okay, that does matter. If a guy was accurate or a company was accurate, they're accurate. Atlas Intel, that had to make their pick. Their final electoral college map does not look good for Kamala Harris at all. It doesn't mean anything's over. I just wanted to throw that out there so going into the weekend, you realize that if we execute, this is what, you guys have the actual map? There, look at this. They have it at 312. This is the most accurate pollster of 2020, Atlas Intel. 312 Trump, Kamala Harris 226. But look at this map. Atlas Intel has him taking out Trump, taking Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, basically every swing state out there. Oh, Nevada too. Folks, this is a bad map for them. The only way to make this map happen is to do what? Execute. And folks, I hear these Democrats saying, oh, bring someone with you. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. 10 people, that's the minimum. If you're not willing to do it, you're not willing to win. I'm not kidding when I tell you 10 people. It's not some number I pulled out of my ass. I'm telling you, 10 people who are on the fence and may not vote. You need to drag them out and go make sure they vote for Trump. There are going to be people who stay home. A car tire is going to pop. A kid's going to get sick. No excuses. Everybody get out and vote because the left is all bullshit all the time. Everything they tell you is fake and phony. Listen, this clip is more for the Bongino show. I'm going to put this out there for you. I'm going to tell you in advance, the problem, I love this clip, by the way, it's a favorite clip of the show. It's the great Joe Kernan at CNBC, who has just been destroying liberal bullshit on CNBC. I love this guy. I don't think I've ever even met him, but this guy is incredible. Liberals go on CNBC, I think thinking they're going to get a free pass. Phil Murphy, the communist governor of New Jersey, made a big mistake going on CNBC, thinking he's going to get a pass. And Joe Kernan absolutely eats this guy's lunch. This is a clip designed for you guys. It's not soundbiteable at all, but it's about a minute long. But you guys who are knee-deep will understand why this explains perfectly why you should never vote for a leftist. They never tell you the truth. You know what we stand for. Cost-effective tax cuts, economic growth, regulatory reform, school choice, patient-directed health care, school accounts we control. You know everything we stand for. Strong national defense, backing our military, backing our cops. The left never tells you. Watch Phil Murphy. He's asked a simple question by Joe Kernan. What Kamala Harris policy do you support? This guy's the communist governor of New Jersey. You would think this would be easy. He can't name a single thing. This is glorious. This is actually my favorite clip of the day. Check this out.
You like Kamala Harris, not just against. So let me ask you, do you believe we should abolish the filibuster? And you can answer after I do it. How about getting rid of private insurance? How about taxing unrealized gains? How about nationalizing energy? How about mandatory gun buybacks like Australia? How about decriminalizing illegal crossings? Ending cash bail, child gender reassignment surgery being paid for in prison. I mean, what are your raising the corporate tax rate? What are your favorite proposals from Kamala Harris that make you like her so much? Which of
Joe,
those
for a Jersey guy, you sound like you're on the Trump campaign, for crying out loud. Come on, man.
Okay, well, which of those
you're
do you like?
cherry-picking stuff.
Which of those do you like? Which of those do you like? Which of those are you in? Are you in favor of ending the filibuster? We'll go one by one.
Yeah.
Are you?
It is. I'm not sure on the filibuster, honestly, but I think getting fair tax. So you're not going to
talk about any specifics of what's that?
I think fair tax policy is
what does that
sensible.
Mean, fair? What does that mean, fair?
Fair means you pay. You pay what you should pay.
Do you see my point? This is why this show is number one in live streaming every single day. I make these points over and over, and then they just feed us information. We feed back into this positive feedback loop. Well, what's the point? What have I been telling you for the last 6 months? The Democrats lie to you about everything. You just saw it on video. Granted, it's not an easy soundbite. You got to be kind of wonky to get what's happening there. But the point is simple. Every single thing the Democrats plan on doing to you, transgender sex surgeries in prison, unrealized capital gains taxes, dumping the filibuster, no one will go on video and actually say, yes, we want to do it. Why? Because they're embarrassed. They know they're tyrants. Well, Dan, they're probably not going to do it. And that's what, no, or else he would say, nobody's going to do that. He won't say it. And then did you catch the end? My favorite argument of all. Oh, pay your fair share. What's the fair share, Joe Kernan asked him. It's the share of fairness, the fairness of the sharedness. It's the sharedness of the fair. He should sing like a Dora song. Dora, 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 the explorer, we pay our fair share, Dora. Boots and super cool explorer, Dora, pay your fair share. They don't have shit. They don't have shit. They won't say anything. What are you voting for? Ask your liberal friends, what are you voting for? I'll give you this. You want to kill babies? Yes, that is definitely your party. Donald Trump is not for a national abortion ban. I personally am pro-life, conception and natural death. I'll give you, you want to kill babies through 9 months? If that's the only issue you care about at all, you don't care about your kids' education, healthcare, the economy, national debt, China, anything, then I can't help you. What else are you voting for us? I'm serious. They won't say anything. You're going to tax unrealized capital gains. Phil Murray's like, I'm not really sure we're going to do it. Mark Cuban, no, we're not going to do that. Kamala Harris, yes, we're going to do that. We love fracking. Kamala Harris said we hate fracking. No, but then she said we love it. But then she said we hate it. They lie. They're full of shit. They lie to you about everything all the time. So, folks, I'm not done yet, by the way. This is important. You want some... I always go to... I know the limits of my own knowledge on this show. That's important, right? Only a smartass thinks they know everything, and I certainly don't. So regarding political tactics, I saw this tweet yesterday by our friend Eric, and he put out some early markers on election night. Are you, by the way, who's spending election night with us? Folks in the chat, let me know. I need you there. Spread the word. Rumble.com/Bongino. It is free. It is free. It is free. I'm going to make this really easy for you. Go to the App Store. Super easy. Download the Rumble app. Can you make the app #1 in news? We would really appreciate it. Download the Rumble app. You'll get a notification when I go live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Ish. May go a little early, a little later, depending on, we got a whole bunch of technical stuff we're working on. We will be at Oak and Ember in Stuart, Florida, in downtown Stuart, celebrating election night. It's a ticketed event, but it's going to be a blast. But I want to know pretty early what we should be looking for, right? Some people got to go to bed. Kids got to go to school the next day. So 7:30, by 9:30, 10, I'd like to have an idea if we're in good or bad shape, correct? So because you and I are into metrics and we're not into bullshit like Phil Murphy, what's the fair share? Give us a number, bro. I want a number. So Eric Daughtry put this tweet out with some stuff we'll be paying attention to. He says, I'll send this out on election night, but here's how to read the results. So he notes correctly, obviously, states count votes differently in different orders. I told you, it's not a national election. It's a series of state elections, right? Trump will lead Virginia, he notes, early in the night. He will. That happens all the time, okay? Florida will be the most Democratic earlier in the night because that's the mail-in and early vote drop before the election day drop. So let's get that out of the way. Don't jump to any conclusion in Virginia. Trump's up 11. disregard that. Florida, don't pay any attention until like 20, 30, 40, 50% of the votes counted, okay? So good. We want to know what not to pay attention to, too, because I don't want people getting all excited, okay? He says, don't read it as a horse race. You want to play in a long game that night. But he says, for instance, this is a good one to pay attention to. Allegheny County, Pennsylvania should have their vote in pretty quick. It's watch it. If Trump is outdoing 2016 there with most of the vote in, safe to say, because he won in 2016, so if he's doing better, safe to say his odds rise in Pennsylvania. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that. We'll be communicating with some people, hopefully Eric included throughout the night. We'll keep our eyes on that. He wrote, the New York Times needle. You know that needle? Chances of winning? Forget it. I'm just telling you, he's saying too, be very skeptical of shit like that. And he's got some more stuff in the tweet as well. He says, watch Georgia and North Carolina for statewide results first. Pennsylvania will be slower. He said, obviously watch Wisconsin, Michigan, and the West Coast swing states. They'll take a little bit longer too. But here's the takeaway. Georgia and North Carolina will set the tone for the night. If Trump is absolutely thrashing in North Carolina and Georgia, that bodes well for Pennsylvania and other battlegrounds. This is invaluable information. This is the kind of stuff on election night we're going to have our panelists, Mike Benz, Julie Kelly, Savannah Hernandez, Adam Gillette. We're going to have a bunch of political analysis going on, the crossover with Steven Crowder. This is the kind of stuff we need to be paying attention to, folks. It's really important. I wanted to play this one last clip for you because going into the weekend, I don't want to scare you, but if we lose this election, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, you better hire a lawyer. If you are a prominent conservative, I am not kidding. These people are coming for you. They've done it before. They've got a record of weaponizing government. I really like this commentator on social media, Peter St. Onge. He does economics a lot. He's not like a fireball guy, but his point is real here. What they did to Elon, they will do to you if we lose. I want you to listen to this. Check this out.
Recently, Elon Musk gave a talk detailing the government attacks on his companies since he came out as pro-free speech, and especially since he came out as pro-Donald Trump. These include endless made-up environmental rules, including a study to see if falling rockets hit sharks. It includes curbs on SpaceX launches specifically because Elon tweets pro-Trump things. And it includes a $600,000 fine for spilling drinking water in a desert. Not a joke. Attacking dissident companies, of course, is a hallmark of authoritarian regimes. As Mussolini put it, quote, everything within the state, nothing outside the state, nothing against the state. For a true authoritarian, no citizen is allowed to dissent, and certainly no company, which are sitting ducks. Of course, in theory, this sort of thing does not happen in America. In theory, we jail bureaucrats who conduct Mussolini-style lawfare. Alas, it has been going on ever since the progressives imposed the administrative state about 100 years ago, saddling now every industry in America with a regime big brother, a library worth of regulations, mandates, licensing boards, a bureaucratic army that, like everything government does, is thoroughly corrupt.
Chief Robin Brooks in the chat, in all caps, do not underestimate the left and the DNC. Chief Robin Brooks, you are 100% correct. Do not underestimate their capacity for malfeasance.